Hi everyone, what's up? AB Squad, this is your boy Abbas. Welcome back to the family, welcome back to AB React. Guys, we are back and checking out another interesting video, another fantastic video on this channel. You know, it's really been a long while. Like I will always say, it's been a long while I reacted to this amazing video, amazing person. I'm referring to Douglas Murray. You know, I think I actually stopped reacting to him for a while, so I am back and checking out some of his videos. And if you know you're ready to do this one with me, do all to smash your like button, join the family, join AB React by clicking on your subscribe button, of course your notification bell, so you don't miss out whenever I upload a video. If you have recommendations, suggestion, guys, always do all to leave them right there in the comment section. Alright, AB Squad, there is no time to waste. Let's check this out, guys.
Now let's go to the US, and President Donald Trump looks like he's going to be pulling the US out of UNESCO. That's the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. This decision comes after a 90-day review, and Douglas, the organization was deemed to be anti-American, anti-Israel and pro-DEI, three things that the Trump administration does not like, and it's not unprecedented. President Reagan also withdrew the US from UNESCO. What do you think of this decision?
Yes, I mean, the Trump administration doesn't like anti-American international bodies, and that's something which is, you would have thought normally would be sort of quite straightforward, quite obvious, not controversial. But there are so many people, sadly, who seem to think that any organization with UN in the title must be angels, effectively. That isn't the case. And there's a fundamental misapprehension at the root of a lot of people's worldview, which is that because something is an arm of the United Nations, it must be doing the Lord's work. And yet the problem with the United Nations now and with its entities is what it's often been in the case, as it was in President Reagan's day, the tilt of the organization.
First of all, I want to say I miss reacting to Douglas Murray's video. You know, his video is always very interesting, educative. You know, I think most of his video is all about what has been happening, like maybe kind of, you know, them asking question or interviewing him. So like I said, I always love his videos. So this one is all about him, you know, them, should I say, interviewing him about, you know, him giving praises to Donald Trump, you know, trying to pull out US from UNESCO. And guys, I want to ask a quick one. Is that the best thing for our president to do? Is that the best thing for Donald Trump to do, pulling out the US from UNESCO? I don't know. If you know he's the person, let me know. Or what are your own thoughts about this decision that he's trying to make? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Let's continue.
Tilts against America, against the Western democracies, because of the predominance of unfree, undemocratic and tyrannical countries within the organization. And, you know, I don't mind if you want to pretend that the United Nations is the world's parliament. If they want to imagine that, that's one thing. But to imagine as a result that it is what it says it is, and that its entities are what they claim to be, is just a grotesque category error. UNESCO, like so many organizations, UNRWA, the UN Human Rights Council, these are not bodies that represent or further the interests of the American taxpayer, the American voter, and often work directly against them. So why exactly should the American taxpayer be funding them?
It's a very good question. It's one I'd be posing to our government right here in Australia. Israel and Syria, we know they're resuming dialogue on security matters in the wake of deadly sectarian clashes. We're seeing, just Douglas, horrific acts of brutality, footage that I can't play, the Druze population being targeted, and this footage is simply too graphic, too sickening to play. What can be done to help this community, Douglas, and other religious minorities in Syria?
You know, it's absolutely appalling what's been going on in recent days in Syria. Noticeable as always, the people who've been completely silent on the matter, who obsessed with anything that Israel does in the region and are totally unbothered when jihadists, or former jihadists, if you take him at his word, like the new leader of Syria, oversees a country in which this kind of ethnic strife is routine and commonplace. The Druze are a very small minority in the region, crossing in roughly in Lebanon, Israel, Syria, and very beleaguered. And massacres like that.
That was a very good question. She actually asked, like, what could be done to save these communities? What could be done to stop this from happening in this community, in this place? Like, because, you know, I've been seeing a lot of news, a lot of things going on in Israel and Syria, you know, the fights, the bombing, like a lot. Like, most times I really feel for these people. I really feel for the people that are living there, for the people that are staying there, because I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to, you know, to maybe just being in a particular place at some point, you know, things start happening, war, a lot starts happening. Like, it's always so crazy. So I don't know if there is a solution to this thing, if there is how they can actually work towards helping these people, because it is heartbreaking. It is something that is affecting so many things. It is something that has been affecting so many things. So I don't know if Douglas actually has an idea, because that's the question they asked him. What do you think can be done to help these people? So let's continue, guys.
In recent days, the only country that has done anything to actually intervene and try to stop this is the government of Israel, who is doing so partly at the behest of own Druze population. The Druze population in Israel include remarkable people, include remarkable heroes who serve in the army and so on. But Israel decided to actively step in and try to prevent some of this ethnic cleansing of the Druze of Syria. The rest of the world is just sort of sitting by, either not noticing or just talking about it. And it's very interesting, that, isn't it? That once again, Israel in the region alone acts against a threat to a minority.
Guys, did you people just see what just happened in that video? Like, I mean, everywhere was just damaged. Like, things were just exploding. Like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, just imagine you seeing some buildings, in the next few seconds you are seeing smoke. Like, God, like, and I'm very sure people were inside that building, and I mean, that's really, really bad. That's really, really bad. Oh my God, like, I didn't even see that video.
And gets no credit for it, no praise for it. In actual fact, as we saw in an interview this week with the former head of the MI6 intelligence services in the US, who was interviewed by, I think, Christian Amanpour on CNN, don't even understand the situation in the region, and don't even believe that Israel is acting in the interests of the Druze minority, and also don't seem to understand who the Druze minority are. It is a really shocking lack of comprehension at very high levels. And of course that means that there's also a shocking lack of action.
You're right about that. Let's actually just have a quick look at that interview you referred to. And this is supposed to be an expert opining about Israel's motivations in Syria.
I don't actually believe the Israeli line that they are intervening in southern Syria in order to support the Druze, as if they have concerns about the Druze. The Druze are Arabs, they're Muslims, they are a part of the network of ethnic groups and religious groups inside Syria. What Israel is looking for, I think, is a fragmented Syria, one which is weak and divided.
It's the former head of MI6, and he doesn't know basic information, Douglas, like the Druze are not Muslims.
Yeah, that was really shocking, I have to say, really shocking. There's a sort of presumption people have that figures like this, you know, at least know what they're talking about. And yes, I mean, he didn't. The Druze, among other things, are not Muslims by any means, and it's just and that lack of knowledge, I suppose, leads to the follow-on thing. He believes that the Israelis, who will include Druze in their own army, would not be acting legitimately in defense of the Druze minority. As for the idea that Israel wants a fractured Syria, I mean, this is just pure projection or something like that by the former head of MI6. They don't. Israel would like to live, I assume, beside a peaceful Syria that was well governed, that had peace accords with Israel, part of the Abraham Accords, and so on, normalization. They don't want an endless war zone next door to them. Who would? We've seen what that means in recent years. We've seen what it means foreign proxies in Syria firing into Israel and so on. Of course. No, I mean, there's just, I've said to you often, Rita, there's this feeling in recent years that the adults have left the room. And that's still true. It's also the case, many of the people who are meant to be adults who are still in the room turn out not to be fit for purpose.
Douglas Murray, thank you so much for your time tonight.
I mean, God, like, I would say I am sad. I am feeling for those people. I'm feeling for this country. I am feeling for that community, because just imagine that happening. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's so sad. Like, I don't know. Is there no any way, or is there a way they can stop this war? Is there a way they can just stop all these things from happening? Because it is literally getting out of hand. It's literally making, like, I mean, it just like, what we used to hear in the Bible, where they will say, a time will come where two countries, two this will always come and fight, and then things will be happening, people will be fighting and all those things. I think it's actually manifesting itself now, but nevertheless, I just pray like there is a way to sort this thing out, because it is so heartbreaking. So guys, at this point I would like to say thank you so much for joining me on this video. Thank you for also joining me to watch this video, and if you really enjoyed this, you know how we do it. All you have to do is to click on your subscribe button, of course, on your notification bell, so you don't miss out whenever I upload a video. If you have recommendation, suggestion, guys, always do well to leave it right there in the comment section. All right, and please, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe, stay positive, don't go away, don't touch that dial. Bye guys.